Okay, this is lesson 3.4, graphing linear inequalities. Inequalities are these signs right here, the monsters, the greater than, the less than, the greater than or equal to, the less than or equal to. These are the inequalities. An equation has an equal sign, equation equal. So let's quickly go over how to graph equations. So the first thing I graph is my loner, and that is on the y-axis. So I go to 7, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I put a dot on the y-axis at 7. Now this right here, this is my slope. It's the number next to your x. So -2, or I could say -2/1. The top number of your slope tells you to go up or down. The bottom number tells you to go right or left. If it's positive, you go up. If it's negative, you go down. If it's positive, you go right. If it's negative, you go left. So after I graph, put a dot at my y-intercept, I then use my slope. This is -2. That means I'm going to go down 2/1 and put a dot. Down 2/1 and put a dot. I have to make 3 dots. Now, because slope goes in both directions, I can also go up 2/1 to the right. Now, this right here, is this line negative or positive? It is negative. Is my slope right here negative or positive? So I know I did a good job. At least I got the slope right for positive or negative. Okay? So I'm going to quickly graph the next one. I go to -1 and put a dot. Then I go up 1/4 or down 1/4. Have to connect my dots, have to put arrows. Now, the AZ merit, we just got word today that if you don't put arrows on your graphing lines with the AZ merit, it's wrong. So we're going to hold that when we do the test. If you don't put arrows on your lines when you're graphing, it's wrong. Okay, so now we're going to talk about inequalities. Here is your inequality. Now, what I found out first hour was they got this whole weird thing that they're trying to do kids to teach them which way to shade and stuff like that. I don't like it. I'm just going to show you my way. But what do you notice about these right here? What kind of line? This one has a solid line. What kind of line does this one have? Dashed or dotted, yes. Now, notice here, look. This one has an or equal to. So, solid line underneath your monster, solid line on your graph. No solid line underneath your monster, dashed line on your graph. All right? Then you have to shade. You either shade above the line or below the line. Okay? This right here, this one here does not eat the y. It eats the equation. If it doesn't eat the y, you shade below. This one eats the y. You shade above. So now when we click over here, we're going to get all these little things that if you want to memorize them, you go right ahead. I think what I just said is easier to remember, but, you know, whatever. So you have boundary lines that divide the plane into 2 halves. You shade the half plane according to the inequality sign. The shaded region includes all solutions to the inequality. So, a solid line has a line underneath the inequality. A dotted line has no line under the inequality. Okay, so, and then if it is a greater than, you shade above the line. If it is a less than, you shade below the line. Now, how do you know it's a less than? Less than goes the same way as an L. All right. I like to remember, if it eats the Y, shade above. If it doesn't eat the Y, shade below. That seems a little easier to me, but what do I know? Memory test. Okay. If it has a line underneath, you do a solid line. That's pretty simple to remember. Solid line underneath the monster, you use a solid line. No line underneath the monster, you use a dotted line. If it is less than, you shade below. If it's greater than, you shade above. Now, your Y equals is going to be over here. Oh, sorry. That's wrong. We don't have equal signs. We have inequalities. Your Y is going to be over here. Now, here's what you need to know about this. They could use just an X. Every now and again, use just an X. When you only see an X, what kind of line is it? Hey, one person. Who said vertical? Excellent job. One person trying to learn. If it only has an X, same thing. If it eats the X, you shade above. But whatever. Here we go. Yo, 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 yo. Graph boundary lines using M and B. Okay, I can do that. I know that. Use a chart for line type and shading. Shade the correct half. Here we go. We graph this. We start off graphing this just like we do equations. So the first thing I'm going to graph is the plus 2. So I go to plus 2. I put my dot. Okay. Now, I use my slope. Oh my gosh, there's a negative sign here. Where does the negative sign go? Does that go with the 2 or the 3? It doesn't matter. You want to put it with the 2? Okay. I tell you, please put it with a number. It does not go with both. If you put it with both, that's a positive. So that means I'm going to go down 2 over 3. Down 2 over 3. Now, I'm going to connect my dots. I have to make a decision. Am I going to use a solid or a dotted line? Dotted, yes. Why am I going to use a dotted? Well, because it is a less than with no or equal to. Is that what they haven't put in the less than right there? Okay. So now I'm going to use a dotted line. So here we go. Mine's crooked. I don't care. I know some teachers want you to use a straight edge. I don't care. Please make sure you put an arrow on that. Now I have to shade. Yes. I shade below. I shade below because it is eating the equation. So I'm going to shade down here. Okay, sorry, I put the inequality in the wrong box. The inequality should go down here. Because it's an L, it goes below this line. It goes the same way as the L, so it has to go in the bottom, which means I shade below. Personally, I like if it's not eating the Y, you shade below. If it eats the Y, you shade above. That's easier for me to remember, but whatever you want to do, fool, it's up to you. If you want to use this, you go right ahead. Okay, now, what does this mean as far as the answer? Well, let's look. Let's pick a point right here. Let's pick 0, 0. Is 0, 0, this is for everybody in here, is that above the line or below the line? So that should be a solution, right? Hello? That should be a solution. Yeah, that's in the shaded region. So let's do this. Instead of y, I'm going to put 0 is less than negative 2 over 3 times 0 plus 2. 0 is less than negative 2 minus 3 times 0, 0. So I get 2. Is 0 less than 2? Is that true? Yes. Remember, the monster eats the bigger number. Is 2 bigger? Yeah, so that's true. Let's do one that's false. Let's do 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's do 0, 3. So, 0 Nope, 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 nope. 0 is my x. So 3 is my y. 3 is less than negative 2/3 times 0 plus 2. So according to this, 3 is smaller, negative 2/3 times 0 is 0, plus 2, 0 plus 2 is 2, is the monster eating the bigger number? No. Why? Because this dot right here is not in the shaded region. That means it is not a solution. This is a lot of information, but I want you to understand what you're doing. Here we go. On to the next one. Okay, no, we're not going to go on to the next one. Let me see. Okay. Let's go to number 4. I'm doing this for the sake of the video. Then we will go back and check the other ones. Oh my gosh, y is bigger than x. What does that mean, y is bigger than x? Well, what number is next to the x that's understood? 1. So I have 1 over 1 here. Now, what am I missing? I'm missing my loner. Plus 0. So I put this at 0, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. What kind of line am I going to draw, kids? Dotted. Yes, very good. Who said dotted? Good job. There's no or equal to, so I draw a dotted line. Make my arrows. Yes, it's eating the y, isn't it? Eats the y, shade above. Please do not sit here and try to shade every single dang box on the test. Yeah, just make this. There you go, we're done. Now, if I'm going to fill this in, if I want to, so I have a greater than, it's a dotted greater than, so that means it goes here. It goes above the line, that's why I shaded above. Okay, again, number 5, plus 0. Okay, number 6. There's a 1 here. I have to have my y by itself, don't I? So I have to move this to the other side. So this is going to be y is greater than or equal to negative 1x minus 2. So now I can graph this. I go to negative 2, put my dot. I go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. So I'm going to fill this in. It's a greater than, and it is a solid. So I'm going to put it right here. It's greater than and solid. It's eating the y. So I put a solid line here with my arrows, and it's eating the y. So where do I shade? Above or below? Above. Okay. Now, do you see an x? Do you see an x in number 9? No. What does that mean? What kind of line is it? Horizontal. Very good. So I go to negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I put a dot. There's no x. This is not the slope. This is your y-intercept. This would be, I could write this y equals, y is greater than or equal to 0x minus 4. How come we don't write 0x? Because 0 times x is 0 times x is 0. 0 minus 4 is minus 4. That's why we write it like this. So if my slope is 0, I go up 0 over 0. It's a flat line. It's like your floor. Am I going to do a solid line or dotted? Solid. Put my arrows. Now, it's less than, and it's solid. Less than goes here. It's not eating the y. Where do I shade? Below. Okay? One more. Now we have an x. We don't have a y. We have an x. What kind of line is this? Vertical. Very good. So I go to 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to draw a vertical line. What kind of vertical line am I going to draw? Dotted. Excellent. You kids always forget when we do these on the test that you always draw solid lines. Please look. So my greater than is here, but it's dotted. So I put greater than up here up top, and I do this. So where am I shading, above or below? Is it eating the X? Shade above. Last one thing, you guys always get confused on these. Where's above? Well, here, watch. Draw a little man on the line. Where's above? This way. Same thing here. Draw a little man on the line. Where's above? This way. But I wanted to shade below here. Okay, if you have any questions, please come in and ask. Love ya. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.